Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friends. Good to be back with you again. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and this is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 160. And on the program today, imagine yourself going on a long-distance camping trip. You're traveling far away from home. Everyone's packed in the car. All of your gear is packed away. Everything is picture perfect. You arrive at your camping destination, go to check in, and discover that your credit card has been declined. Don't think it can happen to you? Wait till I tell you what I went through no more than a week and a half ago and what I'm doing today to better protect myself both at home and online. A very educational and informative episode coming your way here on Happy Camper Radio. Stick around for it. You can get in touch with us anytime by picking up the phone and calling 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to www.happycamperradio.com. You'll find all of our social media icons right there on the homepage. Take the studio tour, see what we do behind the scenes. Also, plenty of useful camping trips to take with you any time of the year. Whether you're a springtime camper, a summer, fall, or winter, wherever you go, take Happy Camper Radio right along with you. The Happy Camper Radio Show is heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store, on Podbean, MyRoguide, Stitcher, the BlackBerry podcast directories, and now on iHeartRadio. We've made it so easy for you to connect up with us. You can always go to our website, happycamperradio.com, and click on the podcast episodes in the upper right-hand part of the toolbar. You have every one of our previous episodes, if you want to listen to the current show or any of the ones we have done in the past, right there from your home computer, your work computer, wherever you may be. We've made it so easy for it to happen. Well, folks, you know, I have been here at the studio for the past couple weeks and kind of been on the downside, and I'll tell you why. If you've been following us on social media here recently, you know we are suffering a very terrible loss. Our beloved pet Harper finally lost his battle with heart disease a couple weeks ago, and it's been kind of painful for each and every one of us here, both at home and in the studio. Many episodes I have done, you may not have known it, but Harper was laying here just to the right-hand side of me, and he was here the whole time. He was quiet, and I remember on several occasions I have posted pictures of him on social media because he was quite the character. He loved to dress up. And anytime he had a costume on, out came the iPhone, out come the camera, and we have tons and tons of pictures that we have shared with just about everyone. About 2 months ago, if you're a pet owner, you can relate exactly to what I'm talking about here. Harper came down with a very severe cough, so much to the point that it caught our attention and we realized we better get him to our local veterinarian and check out what's going on. The folks at Centerville Animal Hospital here in Snellville, they are just an absolute wonderful bunch of people. We've used them for many years. They take care of all of our pets. But we took Harper up there. The vet listened to his heart and immediately determined, well, we better do a chest x-ray. Something just doesn't sound right here. Come to find out that the left side of his heart was so enlarged that it was pressing up against his windpipe. Not a good thing. Anyway, the vet recommended that we get him to a cardiologist immediately. So the very next day, Lori and I drove over to Athens, Georgia, which is about an hour, 10 minutes away. And we met with a great cardiologist over there near the University of Georgia. They have an excellent veterinary hospital and veterinary education center right there in Athens. But anyway, they checked him out, did an ultrasound on him, and determined, well, you know, he may survive another 2 or 3 months, a year if you're lucky. But they put him on some very expensive heart medication, And we went ahead and took him home. Now, Harper had his good days and his bad days, but he progressively got worse. And we took him back to the cardiologist one last time. And he gave us the sad news as, look, I'm not going to lie to you. He says he's going fast. He may last another day or two. So we just decided to bring him on home, make him comfortable that night. And we made an appointment with our local vet here the very next day and decided to end his suffering. Yes, it's a terrible loss. If you're a pet owner, like I say, you can relate exactly to what I am talking about. Every pet owner, unfortunately, is going to go through this. Pets are wonderful, our four-legged friends. They bring us so much happiness. They are part of our immediate family. I don't care what the non-pet owners have to say. I don't care what the government has to say. Pet owners, we're special people. We love our pets and we care for them. Unfortunately, they're not here with us very long. So we take time to treasure each and every moment we have with him. Yes, I've been down and out here for the past couple weeks, but, I'm getting back into the swing of things here. And just the fact of being in the studio today and talking with you is great therapy. I've been dying to get back behind the controls again. And this is a great place to be. Happy Camper Radio is an awesome program. I enjoy bringing it to you each and every time I get behind the microphone. But anyway, let me get straight to what we're going to talk about today. Something happened here no more than a couple weeks ago in the midst of everything that was going on. I went to the local veterinarian to pick up Harper's medication. His heart medication was very expensive. We're talking about $126 a bottle, but we don't think about that when it comes to the care of our pets. We just do what we need to do. I went in there, and I think it was a Thursday or Friday afternoon, and I had the medication all ready and brought out my credit card. They swiped the credit card, and the credit card was declined. Caught me off guard. No, that's not right. Try it again. So they swiped it a second time. It did not go through. By the third attempt, I said, all right, something here is not right. Let me go ahead and pay for this another way. Very simply, I put it on my debit card, one time, swiped it, cash taken out, and the medication was bought. But before I even pulled out of the parking lot of our local vet, I was in the truck and I was on the phone with the bank. Something's going on. I need to know about it. And it was that time I come to discover, and I've never had this happen before, folks, never. And I first pretty much consider myself a good handler of my finances. If I'm going to put it anyway, that's pretty much how I'm going to put it. Yes, I pay my bills. I pay my bills on time. I try to pay more than the amount due, if not pay the balance off each and every month. So something was not right here. It was at that moment I discovered that around 4 o'clock that morning, somebody used my credit card at a cell phone store, a popular cell phone store. I'm not going to identify that particular cell phone company, but they spent about $1,600 in one purchase. A few minutes later, they make a second purchase at the same company for a little more than $1,000. Well, the bank quickly picked up on that, and they immediately shut down the card. And after that was done, somebody, whoever it was, I'm sure it was the same party, tried buying a $50 phone card somewhere and a couple other little purchases that didn't go through. So why wasn't I made aware of it? Well, I'll tell you why. Part of this is my fault. If you're anyone like me, chances are your phone is going to be ringing off the hook at certain times of the day. There are going to be 800 numbers, 1-888 numbers coming across your phone. And if you answer them, you're going to get a recorded message. You've just won a fabulous vacation in Florida. We've got a great deal on home refinance. We've got a great life insurance policy we want to sell you. Yeah, I get all those kind of crazy calls. So if I see a number that I do not recognize, I do not answer it. That's just the way I conduct business each and every day. Most of the calls I take, people are in my address book. So if my phone rings, I look at it and I say, oh, okay, yeah, I know him. Let me pick up the phone and have a conversation. But if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer the phone. Well, about 9 o'clock that particular morning, the bank had tried calling me from a 1-800 number. And I didn't recognize the number, so I ignored it. And I put the phone right back on my waist. They did leave a message. I hadn't checked my phone all morning long for that message. So naturally, when I arrived at the vet to pay for this medication and the credit card was declined, I was quite surprised by it. Here's what I did. I immediately says, yes, cancel the card. Get rid of it. Send me another one. And of course, a lot of my bills that I have on a monthly basis get charged to that card automatically. So I had to go ahead and make some changes. Fortunately, like I say, I had my debit card with me. I had cash in my pocket. And in addition to that, I have 2 other credit cards at home that I very seldomly use. So while I was waiting for a new credit card to arrive, I wasn't without money, which is a good thing. But think about this for a moment, folks. What if you were away on a vacation and all of a sudden your credit card was compromised? Someone started using your credit card without your knowledge. And in the midst of everything, and you're paying for everything on your vacation is being paid on credit. And now the bank has declined your card. What would you do? Do you have a backup plan? We try to think of things before we leave home and go away on a long-distance trip. We don't try to think that, maybe we're going to have engine problems. Maybe the radiator's going to go out, or in a worst-case situation, the engine's going to blow or the transmission's going to go out, and that's going to cost us a fortune. We hope those things do not happen. But sometimes they do. What if you were away and had no access to money at all? Managing your money is very important, both at home and on your vacation. Now, some people are very good at managing money. Some people are not. I can remember a point in my life many decades ago when I didn't manage money well at all. And there was a time I couldn't get a credit card in my name if I tried. I think it's healthy in some respect for people to go through that, even the most successful people in life. If you have some stumbles along the way, you learn by them, and you don't make those mistakes again. But having said all that, to this very day, I know some people who don't use credit cards at all, and I think they manage their money well. They just prefer to pay with cash. They're cash and carry type individuals. One good thing about cash, folks, cash is accepted everywhere. I've never known any company, any business, with maybe the exception of the government, who just doesn't take cash at certain establishments. Every cash is accepted anywhere you go. Here's the problem. Cash cannot be replaced if it is lost or stolen. If you are a cash and carry type individual, and again, there's nothing wrong with this at all, I would highly recommend, and I've done this before, many years ago, when my wife and my first daughter went away on a vacation in Disney. It was my very first trip to Disney World, and I was paying with cash. And the large amount of cash I had, I divided between myself and my wife. In the event something were to happen, if my wallet got lost, somebody got into my wallet and took all of my money, I wasn't going to be completely broke because my wife would have the other half. You could keep some hidden away in the trunk of your vehicle, for example, maybe under the wheel well, or if you can lift a piece of carpet inside your vehicle in the passenger compartment and stuff it away there, out of sight, out of mind. This way, and it's very important, if your wallet becomes stolen, all your money is gone, your debit cards, any other credit cards you may have is gone, you're not going to be without money. It's something to think about. Oftentimes, we get so caught up in the moment. If we're out having fun, if we're on vacation, we're getting ready to go to the beach, we know tomorrow is going to be another day, we're going to be doing some sightseeing, we're going to be doing some hiking and what have you. We're not thinking about some of these things that I'm talking about right now. So it's really important that you know you've got to have money available. And if you're a cash and carry type person, take the extra steps, take the extra precautions so you don't run into this type of problem while you're away on vacation. Now, speaking of debit cards, most of you already know that debit cards, even though they carry the Visa and MasterCard logo, they are not credit cards. They can be used anywhere that Visa and MasterCards are welcome. The thing with debit cards, they are linked to your personal checking account or maybe even your savings account. I know it's to my checking account. But if there's money in your account, it is going to be immediately withdrawn from that account when you use your debit card. The neat thing about that is your purchase is paid for, and you don't have to worry about paying for it later on. And again, it provides a good source of money that if you're away and you don't want to have cash, you can use your debit card, and it's acceptable, like we say, anywhere Visa and MasterCards are not. The problem is they don't offer the same protections as credit cards do. Every bank, every financial institution is different. When was the last time you went into the bank and sat down with somebody from the bank to explain to you what coverages you have and what you don't have? It's something you may want to think about the next time that you visit your financial institution. Think about this. The next time you go on vacation, if you are paying everything with a credit card, think about the what-ifs. And just sit down and talk with them. Say, look, I know it's never crossed my mind before, but, we're going to be going away on vacation. What would happen if my credit card became compromised while I was away and I needed cash? Could I get that credit card replaced immediately? Could I have one sent to me overnight at my campground so I am not going to be without cash? You're going to need gas to get home. You're going to have emergencies, that may come up. You're definitely going to need food. Your vacation may go on further beyond where you're at. And this could put a big damper in your plans if you're not careful. So you've got to think about that. Sit down with your bank. Again, every bank and financial institution is different. The folks at my bank are absolutely wonderful. I have been with them for years, and I can count on them to be there for me. And like I said, my bank had tried calling me when my credit card was compromised. And I just, part of it's my fault. Yes, I ignored that call. It was a very important call. I should have taken it. And I would have known even before I went to pick up the dog's medication that, I couldn't use that credit card anymore. I'd have to put it on a debit card or just break out one of the other credit cards that I have at home. So it's something to think about when you're traveling on vacation, how you're going to pay for your goods and services. If you don't use credit cards, if you prefer not to use cash, consider traveler's checks. I've used them before, and they can be replaced if lost or stolen. It's a great way to pay for goods. It requires the purchaser, which is you, to sign the traveler's checks in the presence of the merchant. And it's just as good as cash. Just about anywhere I went on a vacation one time, and I used traveler's checks the whole way, I never had a problem once. But if you're a good manager of your funds, if you're a good manager of money, credit cards are a great way to go. It's an excellent way to pay for your goods, and it allows you to buy now and pay later. And here's what the best part about it is. It provides protection against fraud. Yes, there's some things that I had to do on my end when I was informed that my credit card was compromised and they had to cancel my card. I had to advise them that, no, I did not make these purchases. And the bank is supposed to be sending me some forms to fill out, and I'm sure their fraud department is going to investigate this. I would hope they would. I'm sure that the charges that were made on my credit card were charged back, and the cell phone company did not receive the money that they thought they were going to receive. Hopefully, they caught it in time and did not ship out the phones. I'm suspecting that's exactly what happened. Somebody was buying a bulk number of cell phones, and they were going to sell them on the black market. Yes, they do that. Here in Atlanta, and I don't know whereabouts you live, but if it's anywhere in a big city, chances are you're going to have these smash and grab robberies where in the middle of the night, someone takes a vehicle and smashes it right through the front entrance of a cell phone store, and they go in there and grab as many cell phones as they possibly can. And why are they targeting these stores? Because these cell phones are a good source of income for the thieves. Whether or not they can get those phones activated, I don't know. I would think not. I'm sure every one of them has some sort of a serial number or a number programmed into them, and there's probably a record of what phones they had in the store at the time the theft occurred. But that's exactly why that these people were using my credit card to actually go in and buy these phones. You've got to prepare for the unexpected. You got to know how much you can afford. You got to be able to prepare your budget and be able to stick with it. Sometimes it's very difficult to say no. If you've got youngsters in your household, and I remember my kids growing up, they could come to Dad for just about anything. And hey, I'm a sucker. I've got to admit it. Growing up with my kids, yeah, I was a sucker. It was very difficult for me to say no. Mom, on the other hand, that was the first word out of her mouth almost each and every time. And kids are really good about playing parents on one another. If they know that the parents disagree, they will use that disagreement to their full advantage and go to the parent who's going to give the most favorable answer every time. And of course, in our household, that was Dad. But you've got to ask yourself, how do you prepare for things? If you're going to handle a mechanical repair on the way to your camping destination or on the way home, you have a set budget. Say you've set aside for the year $1,500 for this week-long trip. And I'm just throwing that number out there. But, you're going to spend X amount of dollars for your campground fees. You're going to spend X amount of dollars for your food, X amount of dollars for your recreation, for tours and what have you. And you're going to budget it as best you possibly can. But you've got to expect the unexpected. It could happen. And you've got to be ready for that. You've got to be ready to be able to pay for these unexpected events that do come up. Financial transcard theft, what I just went through, can happen to anybody. Again, if you are a good manager of your money, and if you do have more than one credit card, I would advise you carrying that second credit card with you if you have one. Again, talk to your financial institution, find out what would happen, what could you do, how could they help you out? If you were away from home using your credit card and your credit card all of a sudden became compromised, you're several hundred miles away from home, they know you're a good customer. Believe me, they're going to take good care of you. Every one of these credit cards has a toll-free number on the back of it. It's a 1-800 number, and most likely it answers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somebody can be there to assist you. Contact your credit card company immediately, whether it be a private institution or a bank or whatever, wherever you're doing your business with. If your credit card becomes lost or stolen, that's considered an emergency. To this very day, I'm sitting here wondering, how could somebody access the 16 digits of my credit card in addition to the expiration date plus the 3-digit number on the back of the card and use it for fraudulent purposes? I do make a lot of purchases, both in the stores and online. And I try to protect myself each and every time I make a purchase, especially when I'm purchasing online. If you're dealing with companies you've never heard of before, you want to be extra cautious. I doubt I'm ever going to find out who used my credit card. Hopefully the bank will, and hopefully they will prosecute. They have my blessing all the way. Because again, it disrupted my life. Fortunately for me, I was close to home. It could have been much worse than this. I could have been away somewhere. But again, I have a backup plan. My backup plan may be different from everyone else's. Some people may not be prepared to have an extra source of income available. They may have to start calling around and borrowing money from folks and having somebody Western Union money to them. I hope it never gets to that point. But if you're in a situation where your credit card has become compromised, yeah, you're going to have to start making some very serious decisions. You're going to be on the phone. Now, here's one of the things I want to bring to your attention. Granted, I do a lot of online shopping, and I purchase from reputable companies. Maybe you never heard of this before, or maybe you never even it occurred to you whenever you're doing an online purchase. Some people just go to that page and it asks you to put in your credit card number, expiration date, the 3-digit code, your phone number, your address, and everything that you need, shipping information. If you are on that page, one thing I want you to pay very careful attention to, and I don't care if it's a well-known company, I don't care if it's a company you've never done business with, but they seem to have good deals online. When you put information in your address bar at the top of your screen, you're going to see 4 letters, HTTP. Do you know what that stands for? A lot of people don't. It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. You usually see HTTP : / and then the web address, www, whatever that may be. If you are making a purchase online, you want to make sure that you see 5 letters, and it should say HTTPS, and that stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. That means that you are putting your information over an encrypted site, which means somebody cannot see the information, your credit card information, your address, your phone number, all of those things. That is considered a secured site. Anytime you put your credit card information online, you want to make sure before you hit that send button, make sure that the address begins with HTTPS. Ask yourself what the bank's policy is. Again, anytime that you're needing a replacement card in the event of an emergency, I advise you to sit down with them and talk with them. You might want to consider joining a motor club like AAA or Good Sam. You can get some Good Sam information right on our homepage at happycamperradio.com. They provide valuable benefits too. And I also want you to make sure that you enhance your online security. Make sure you have downloaded the latest window updates on your computer. You want to make sure your firewall's turned on, your computer equipment has antivirus software, and more importantly, I want you to do exactly what I did after this unfortunate incident that I had just gone through. Go online to your banking institution. A lot of institutions these days, once you put your account number in there and your password and what have you, you go right to their website. Many of these banks are now featuring online or text notifications, which means anytime there is any kind of transaction on your debit card or your credit card or your bank account, whatever the case may be, they will send you a text message. This way you will know if somebody is using your account when you know you hadn't used it. That's something I signed up for immediately after this incident. And something else you need to do too. Make sure you review your monthly bank and credit card statements every single month. Go through each item line by line. Make sure that those purchases that you made are there on the credit card statement, and if you see any type of fraudulent activity at all, notify your bank or credit card company immediately. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Yep. This week, I'm going to take you right here to our home state in Georgia, to East Bank. It's part of Lake Seminole, run by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. East Bank Campground is located on Lake Seminole on the Georgia-Florida state line. I guarantee you it's a lot warmer down there than it is up here right now. The lake and surrounding area provide a variety of recreational outdoor activities for fishing, camping, boating, picnicking, hiking, biking, and bird watching. A variety of wildlife makes its home around Lake Seminole, including raccoons, alligators, hawks, bald eagles, vultures, tortoises, and snakes. Try to stay away from those, okay? Lake Seminole is best known for sports fishing in America. Its extensive stump and grass beds provide an abundance of cover where anglers fish for largemouth, hybrid, striped, white bass, And believe me, folks, if you're an angler, you definitely want to bring your rod and reel. Just make sure that if you're visiting from out of state, go online and find out what your fishing license requirements are. Do not run afoul with the law. You don't want to do that. Boating, water skiing, swimming are popular activities, and the campground offers a boat ramp, dock, and fish cleaning station. The neat thing about this, folks, is East Bank is open year-round, so you don't need an invitation. If you're looking to go camping in the fall, in the winter, spring, summer, whenever that may be, definitely consider East Bank. It's our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And, of course, if you have a campground that you'd like for us to feature on the program, I want you to get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. I hope this information I provided to you today was very, very useful. And next time we get together, I'm going to have another great episode of Happy Camper Radio and probably be a little more cheered up than I am right now. I know I'm trying my best, but folks, remember this, and I say this right from the heart, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And no question about it, my friends, I'm going to do my absolute best to make a happy camper out of you. Have a good one. Talk to you again real soon. This is Happy Camper Radio.